The top cop who put his badge on the line for justice.
The gripping story of Deputy Sheriff Doug Poppa. He was a top cop who did the right thing and paid dearly for it.
You know the name Doug Poppa?
Yes, I do. God bless Doug Poppa, an honest cop.
He was a man of integrity. His testimony last summer freed an innocent man from jail who had already been convicted of shooting his ex-wife. But Poppa's going public cost him his job as an undercover cop.
I was elated, of course, but then as he testified, I was somewhat concerned for him because I knew that they were probably going to crucify that man.
Doug Poppa was targeted for a 10-day suspension by his own department for defying superiors and talking to the media. This Brooklyn-born street fighter wouldn't back down.
Sometimes the truth has a price. That may be the lesson of a Virginia police officer who says in trying to do the right thing, he ended up paying for it.
The message you're sending is, see, we did it, Doug. You don't come out, you don't buck the system. No matter what the reason is, you just can basically keep your mouth shut. But if I wouldn't do it all over again, I would take the badge and I would leave it on somebody's desk and get out of police work. Because the day I can tell the truth because somebody's pressuring me, and the day the system doesn't want me to tell the truth because somebody's pressuring me, is the day I leave the badge on the desk and walk away.
Poppa was fired for insubordination. One man who confronted truth and consequences.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Doug Poppa podcast from Las Vegas, Nevada, episode 143 for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I published episode 142. See it there on the screen. And that episode was titled Exclusive: Did Object Fall from Sky Crash in Vegas, Las Vegas? Witness Home Under Police Video Surveillance. Okay. Since I published that yesterday, I received additional information that I didn't have available when I did the episode yesterday. And one of my followers on Twitter, I'm sorry I don't have his name in front of me, but a lot of papers here. I'll get this up on the screen here. Okay, zoom that in. This was published on May 1st by 702 Times. They have they're on Twitter. It's a local Las Vegas like a media site, and I guess somebody gave that photograph. I didn't see this when I was doing my podcast. I wasn't aware of it, and they published on May 1st. And I'm going to show you the video. And they say a falling bright light in the sky at 11:49 p.m. on 4:30, April 30th, and then the photo was taken from the side of town near Henderson, from the M Resort facing north. And then it says, well, did anyone else see it, and what could it be? Now, back in over there. The Henderson, the M Resort, is on South Las Vegas Boulevard, but they said this is facing north. Now, this is the video, and if you remember yesterday, and I'm not going to rehash the whole video because I need to talk to something about the surveillance cameras that I mentioned yesterday. I got more information on it. But the link will be in the podcast. But if you remember yesterday when I was talking and I said, we believe because the call came in from the family that saw the object fall from the sky, literally in their backyard, and you look at the podcast, it's like 50 minutes. And I said in there that possibly the call came in at that time at 00:29 on May 1st, which was after midnight in the morning, 12:30 in the morning. But I said maybe this thing fell a couple of minutes before midnight on April 30th. April 30th was a Sunday, and then going into Monday, of course, was May 1st. So this video that 702 Times and they have a Twitter site. You can go there, and they have a lot of Las Vegas. If you're from Vegas, a lot of information on Las Vegas news on there. So they published this video, and I'll have it looping, and it's clearer than the body cam video, the police body cam video that I showed yesterday. And I believe this is the same object, or it could be another object came down at the same time. Maybe more than one came down, but I believe this is the object falling from the sky, and we're going to loop it. Okay, and you can see that on the top part of the screen. And they're facing north. This was at 11:49 p.m. on Sunday, April 30th. And that's from, it looks like a camera from a residence, I guess, near the M Resort. That's what they're saying down over there. So you can see that thing falling. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember I said yesterday that some people were saying, they saw the body cam video, that it was a military parachute flare, a phosphorus illumination flare. And I said it wasn't, and they're not, because I've seen those things, and they come down very slow on a parachute. Sometimes they say they're coming down so slow that people think they're like objects in the sky glowing and stuff. So this is not it. Again, you can see that thing coming down. To me, it looks like either something that entered our atmosphere, re-entry, or a meteor. Now, to me, it looks like it's coming straight down. But like I said yesterday, with the curvature of the Earth, sometimes these meteors look like they're falling to the ground, and they're actually, over the horizon and going around. I don't know. I'm not an expert, so I'm hoping that somebody will have an idea what this thing is. But I believe this is the same object that the family saw around 12 o'clock, and that the police officer had on his body cam video. Let's get this thing playing for a couple more minutes there. So, very bright, coming down. So you could go back and play it. And that was from 7:02 times from their Twitter from May 1st. And there was very few people that I don't think anybody responded to know what it was. But I didn't see that when I was doing, because I was looking for news broadcast. Anybody saw or did anything on something around May 1st, and I didn't see it. And somebody pointed this out to me this morning. So there you have it. You seen it here. This is going to be a pretty short podcast. I just wanted to do the update, and I wanted you to see this video. Again, let me get up there. Very interesting. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you remember yesterday on the podcast, I talked about the family that reported it. Police, according to them, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department came out last week and installed surveillance cameras on they rent the property, on their property in the rear yard. The lamp hole belongs to them. They said they had permission from the owner, and you could see the two cameras, and then at the top, I believe, is the microwave link that was the air conditioning noise that was in the back of me, so it's not anything wrong with the audio. And I think there's transmission. She said they were watching it from their headquarters. Anyway, go back and look at the video, because there's a lot of information in that video, and I'm not going to repeat it. But before I talk about this memo I sent to Metro this morning, I'll put this up on the screen here so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, get that up over there. It was a employment a position open, and I just put it for a thing. It's the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and just so, because I'm going to be talking about the TAS unit. They pronounce it TAS, it's TASS, and it stands for Technical and Surveillance Squad. And the people that apply to that are appointed by the sheriff to that unit. And they're attached to the Homeland Security Division, and which is connected to the Southern Nevada Counterterrorism Center. So TAS. So when I talk about TAS on the memo that I sent to, an email that I sent to Metro this afternoon, that's the acronym for Technical and Surveillance Squad. Now, what do? Okay. They do all the overt and covert, anything to do installations with video, wiretaps, electronic surveillance, which is all done through court order, Hopefully, these guys, they do all that, the super secret stuff for any type of criminal investigation or homeland security investigation attached to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. The FBI has a real good unit for that for years. I think it's called the Tactical Operations Squad. And these guys, they do surreptitious entry through court order into people's homes. They put bugs, wireless transmitters in, and I believe this is the same unit, but for Metro, employed by Metro. But there has been talk over the years that some of these units at Metro were doing some stuff like that's against the law, but that's just what I heard from many police officers over the years. So that'll be another podcast. So that's TASS. TASS. They call it TASS, but they pronounce it TASS. So that's a technical squad there. So you got an idea what's going on. And I appreciate the comments I get from people, especially the one yesterday. So when you do these podcasts, a lot of people on from Vegas, they don't know radio codes, they don't know police lingo, and they said, we appreciate you putting stuff on and explaining to us what it is that you're talking about. Now, what you're going to have on the screen here, ladies and gentlemen, is a memo, okay? And I sent, it's a media request. Enlarge it, you want to look at it, go back later. Okay. I sent this to the Public Information Office at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department today at 14:01 hours, 2:01 p.m. I said, good afternoon. I have been informed that the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's Technical and Surveillance Squad, TASS, installed a police video surveillance system at a private residence located at, I redacted the address because I told you yesterday, I told the people I wouldn't give out the address, Las Vegas, Nevada. What was the reason for the installation of the video surveillance system? What was the cost to the taxpayers to install the system? What is the cost for the personnel who are monitoring the private residence via the camera system? Did Sheriff Kevin McMahill and/or Under-Sheriff Andrew Walsh authorize the installation, and if so, why? Or was this a unilateral action by someone under their command who issued the order for the installation? Are the cameras equipped, then I say, if neither Sheriff McMahill or Under-Sheriff Walsh did not authorize this action, then what does that say about their leadership of the Las Vegas Metro Police? Are the cameras equipped with a microphone capable of picking up conversations? And if so, what is the effective range of the microphones? Are the cameras installed capable of pan, zoom, and tilt? And if so, were property owners surrounding the target location advised that the cameras are capable of being rotated to surveil their private property? In other words, the property around the house that they put the surveillance system on. I'll talk about that a little bit more. What telephone number can a private citizen call to request a similar installation on their private property? Is the property owner and/or the renter reimbursing the police department for the cost of this operation? I say thank you for your attention to this media request. Here is the link to my May 22nd, 2023 podcast. Although I heard everybody at Metro pretty much at the top saw the podcast, but I put it in there in case some of them didn't. And then I said, please respond at your earliest convenience to Doug Poppa, independent investigative journalist, at this email or at the phone number. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, remember yesterday from the podcast that the reason why when I was talking is I remember I said that the mother came out and said that the police had installed this at 12 o'clock Friday, which was May 19th. And they told her that they had permission from the owner and that it was there for their protection. And she seemed a little bit dismayed when I was talking to her, because you got to remember and go back and look at the podcast. The police closed that case out on the early mornings out of May 1st when they called in supposedly beings being in the backyard, non-human, something crashed. It was, as you know, we'll go back and look, it was cleared IIDA, which means unable to locate. And it said case closed on the dispatch log that I showed on the screen. And then she said, 2 days later, 2 other cops came out and said that the first 2 cops didn't do something right that morning, early morning, and they want to go back in the yard and look. And then 2 or 3 days after those two officers showed up, a Metro detective showed up, said they're on the case, and wanted to go back in the yard and do whatever they were doing. So my question is this to Sheriff McMahill. Why is this installation on private property? What's going on? If there's no case and the case is closed, why are you she said it's for their protection. So, and my other question is, and I said it to them, can any citizen request that? Or is there some reason why this family got a special attention? Can any family that says, or that owns a house that says, listen, I think maybe somebody's going to try to break into my house, I'm in a bad area, I want the police to come out and put police equipment, video surveillance that they can monitor from headquarters just so we're safe. I mean, this is very bizarre, ladies and gentlemen, because the case is closed. So I don't know what's going on. Now, that being said, you remember yesterday I showed the dispatch log. Hang on a second. Okay. And I got something else going on with that. There's an entry in that dispatch, and I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I'm just going to say that I'm still investigating a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of things that bother me about this case, but there's an entry on that dispatch log that seems a little bit amiss, and that's all I'm going to say it right now. And I'm going to keep you updated on these short podcasts when I do it, like I'm doing over here. So now, if Sheriff Kevin McMahill, and you all know I'm not a fan of him, and Under Sheriff Andrew Walsh did not authorize this, then who could have authorized it? The installation. Well, yesterday I showed this also, and this is the organizational chart for Metro, except today we're going to look at something different. You see at the top, Office of the Sheriff, then it goes to the Under Sheriff, Andrew Walsh, then it goes to, remember I said yesterday they had 3 assistant sheriffs, and I highlighted Assistant Sheriff Sasha Larkin, who's in charge of Law Enforcement Investigations and Special Operations Group. And you can see where it says there, she runs the Homeland Security and Special Operations Division that also has a Deputy Chief, James Prosser. And if you go down to the bottom, I put in Southern Nevada down there, I highlighted that, Counterterrorism Center, and then that's Gary Underwood is the director. So what's the significance of this? Okay. TAS comes under the whole, like I said, the TAS unit, the technical people that install those cameras, according to sources who told me after I did that podcast. So she controls TAS because they're part of Homeland Security. So can she just authorize and tell these guys, I want to go to this house and put this equipment in, which is thousands of dollars worth of police equipment, like I said, plus if it's being monitored from off-site police headquarters or at the Counterterrorism Center, people are watching it. So why is that on that property? When they, remember, you heard, they thought these people were 421A, calling in these beings in the yard. The cops went out there. They didn't see any crash. Obviously, they left, unable to locate. They couldn't find a crash site. They couldn't find any beings. And then that happened on May 1st. And you remember the mother told me when I was talking to her on Friday, I went out there to do the interview, is that this police unit, she didn't call them TAS. She just said they came out and said they had permission from the owner to put them on for our protection. They installed those on the 19th, which was Friday, 2.5 weeks after the case was closed. So I want to know what the heck's going on, because something is just not right. Now, I don't know what the procedures are. I mean, you would think that does the assistant sheriff, can she just unilaterally make a decision on her own without notifying her boss, which is Under Sheriff Andrew Walsh, is that I'm going to have all this stuff installed at this home? Did he know about it? Did Sheriff McMahill know about it? Or did she do it by herself? Now, the reason why I say she is because who else would do it? Yes, maybe Deputy Chief James Prosser told Taz, I want you to go down and put it in for some reason, didn't tell his superior. But if it's all on the up and up, there's no problem. But if the higher-ups didn't know about this, and this was a unilateral decision by somebody, that's a problem, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said in that, remember, the woman told me those cameras have 360-degree rotation. That's what they told her, and they have microphones. So if they are not static cameras in those domes, and that's why I asked, if they are indeed pan, zoom, and tilt capability, there's properties all around the target house, okay? And anybody monitoring those cameras, operating them, can turn those cameras and zoom into anybody else's property, look into their windows, the doors, the property, or possibly hear to the microphones. That's why I asked with the capability of the microphones. So we don't know, okay? Do I expect an answer for Metro? Most likely not. Now, I got a lot of other information coming in about new things that are going on with Metro, and some of it's pretty damn disgusting. And I got a lot of information I got to vet, and you'll hear about it in upcoming podcasts. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a short podcast. I just want to give you the update. So now we have another video from 10 minutes before midnight, which is about 10 minutes before the teenage son said he called in Metro early morning hours of May 1st. So that looks like the same object that's on that police body cam video. I will have the link to yesterday's episode in the description section of this episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. You all have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next episode. I got a lot of good stuff coming up. Thank you, and good night.
This lawman sacrificed his badge for justice.
Poppa knew a secret that could free a man wrongfully imprisoned for shooting his ex-wife. But when Poppa stepped forward, he was cut down by his own police department.
All this stuff's going in my head. Should I call up to the defense attorney? Okay? And I knew if I did that, holy hell would break loose.
Deputy Sheriff Doug Poppa used to be one of the top cops in rural Loudoun County, Virginia. Deputy Poppa feels he's been busted himself. He lost his job as a narcotics investigator, he says, when he told an ugly truth about a 4-year-old crime. The truth about how his own department and the local prosecutor allegedly ignored key evidence and may have sent an innocent man to jail.
I testified, and everything changes.
What Deputy Poppa testified about was an attempted murder in 1987.
They deliberately withheld evidence that should have been given to my defense attorneys.
Bill Birch is the prosecutor Deputy Poppa accused of ignoring the evidence.
He says, I told the prosecutor, I told Mr. Birch that this woman said, I'm going to shoot myself if need be, and I'm going to make it look like my husband did it just to ruin his life. Did he say that to you?
No, he did not.
But this November, the court believed Doug Poppa.
Oh my goodness, is this the reception committee?
And on Valentine's Day, William Carter was released on a $50,000 bond and given a new trial.
This man usually puts people on trial in this courthouse, but in a rare turn of events, the Loudoun County Commonwealth Attorney was called to the witness stand. William Birch was asked to respond to allegations that he pressured a witness to lie in earlier court proceedings.
No, sir.
A woman who lived at the Carter mansion the night Carol Vandergrift Carter was shot 5 years ago testified that the prosecutor coached her to withhold testimony about the gun involved.
I certainly did tell him about that it was a .38.
I don't recall her saying anything about the gun, a .38 caliber, anything like that.
He's lying to cover his tracks on the last trial.
The high price one cop is paying for telling the truth.
After serving more than 4 years behind bars, Carter was on the edge of his seat when the verdict was read today.
We, the jury, on Keisha's joint, find the defendant William Douglas Carter not guilty.
After he audibly thanked the jury, Douglas Carter could not contain himself. The tears flowed.
When I came out and testified in November of 1991 at the habeas corpus hearing, and again in January, I was suspended for 10 days without pay, and I ended up being fired after 12 years in this department.